Welcome, friends, to a little musing for today that I wanted to share with you. And so the theme for today is around opening up to guidance and grace from above. Now, you can call above whatever works for you. That can be God, universe, higher power, Krishna, energy, quantum fields, you name it, whatever that above for you is. And even if you don't have a belief in above, could you have an open mind? Could you be willing to just for a moment put aside maybe any judgments or skepticism about this divine love that wants to support us? So I want to share a little story actually that happened to me, and it really touched my heart and showed me the power of prayer, the power of asking and of receiving. But before I do that, I wanted to share just a short quote from a lovely little book. It's called The Quiet Mind, and it's the sayings of White Eagle. And this really is a small little book, but my goodness, does it have some gems in it. And so before I came on to do this recording, I just tuned in again and asked, is there any reading or message, anything that I could share? And I got guided to this page, and I just laughed when I looked at it, because of all the book, it kind of seems quite fitting for the message that I want to share with you today. So you'll see why. Because the message, basically, the title is Help from Above. If you will be steadfast on the path to which your feet have been guided, you will find the treasure of life, a never-ending stream of help, healing, and happiness. We, your companions and guides, are on the road by your side. Not one stands alone. Not one of you stands alone. You have only to ask in simple trust, and you will receive. Whatever your need, it shall be supplied. This topic is very dear to my heart, because many years ago, when people used to say, if I was, in a stressful time or just feeling life wasn't flowing, people say, well, just let it go, Anne-Marie, and trust and ask for help and guidance. And I used to get so frustrated, because I said, well, it's okay for you just to say to me, just let it go. And who am I asking help with or from? Because I had no understanding or awareness. And that's why I want to demystify this to help you. You may already have this awareness and this understanding, or you may be, as I say, completely new and just really have no idea what I'm about to talk about. But I can assure you that if you are watching this video, it's not by accident, and the powers above you want you to hear this message, and there'll be something in it for you. So just trust that, and just come in with a really curious mind, a softness in your heart, a gentleness to just receive and allow whatever needs to come into your mind to wash away anything that is not of peace, to open up to infinite peace, infinite love, and the guidance from above that chooses and wishes to help us be at peace. Okay, so this for me, so the little story I want to tell you about, it was about, I don't know, maybe 6 weeks or so ago. And I was feeling a bit discombobulated. There was a few things going on for me, and quite frankly, I can't even remember what they were now. So that's good, because it's gone. But I remember feeling a bit frustrated and not in harmony. And there was a situation with somebody I was with that sort of triggered me a bit. So I could feel I wasn't at peace. So I have enough awareness now and enough practice to know, okay, there's no one else to blame. I don't need to blame myself either. But what I can choose to do is be willing to notice that I'm not at peace, and therefore come back to the source that will help me be at peace. Because the peace is always actually there, because it is who I am. It's my natural state of being, and as it is for you and everybody. This form of Anne-Marie, this physical body, is not me. And so when we're connecting to this higher power, we're connecting from the power, this essence that we are, which is beyond this body, that connects with that higher power. So we could call that energy, if it helps to make sense. So an energy is joining with another form of energy, if you like, that will come into your awareness and help guide you. So that particular day, I dropped a dearly beloved friend off to the train station early in the morning, fairly early. And so I decided, it was a nice day, I'm going to take my breakfast with me and a cup of tea, and I'm going to go and sit on the beach and meditate, go for a walk. It felt really lovely, and it felt guided to do. So dropped my friend off, took my breakfast with me, and as I say, I drove to the beach. And I sat in the car and I ate my breakfast and had my drink. I felt to have it in the car. And then as I got out of the car, I was parked near a very, very small little church. It's called the Church of the Good Shepherd, and it's on Shoreham Beach for any of you who are local in Sussex. And I've been in there once before just to have a little look round, but that day I really felt this, my heart was just saying, go in. And so I did. And there was no one else in there, which pleased me in a way, because I felt I wanted to be in an inward space. I just want to go back one step. While I was in the car, I prayed and I asked for a day that would be in flow, would be happy, would bring me back to peace and into alignment, and to be my natural, joyful self, however that looked. So I'd already kind of put it out there, if you like. And so, so then the next step was going into the church. And I'm not religious. I don't attend a church. But that didn't matter, because I believe, as I say, in God, in a higher power, which has no affiliation with religion. And you can be religious or not religious, it doesn't matter, because that love, that supreme love, is available to everybody all the time, regardless of your faith or not. But I do feel a resonance with Jesus, and definitely feel him in my life, for sure. And he feels like an equal, and he is an equal to all of us if we open our heart. So going into this church, there was a beautiful image of Jesus, and I just kind of looked into his eyes and I felt a lot of love, tranquility, and the church felt very welcoming, like a big hug. So it's a very small church, and it's not really what I'd say is a traditional church. It's not oldie or anything. It's just, it's a lovely, lovely place. Excuse me. So there was a Bible that was open at the front of the church, and I thought, let's have a look in here. And again, I wanted to have an open mind and see what beautiful message may come through. And the little reading, and again, I can't even remember what it was now, felt comforting. Then I just sat down for a little bit and I looked around the church, and I just felt, wow, what a beautiful sacred space. It really did feel there was a lot of love in there. And then I went to the back of the church, and there was some shelves with books on them. And I just kind of, glanced at them, and then my eye just caught one particular book, and I picked it off the shelf. I can't remember the title of it. And I just opened it randomly, and I read a little bit, and it was a book around people who'd found God, found their higher power, and how the power of prayer and trust and faith had helped them in their lives. And I thought, well, that feels nice. And the page I opened to was a story about a man who, he was really praying for something for his family. And anyway, this story just went on to say how he really had to trust and pray and open his mind. And a miracle happened for him and his family. And it really touched me, and I thought, yeah, this is the way I want to live my life, and the way I do live my life. I really believe that we need to ask. And it's not out of desperation, it's not out of getting. It's because we're building a relationship with this power that loves us and wants us to be happy. It wants us to be in the flow of life and feel good. So that just felt really beautiful. It opened my heart, and I borrowed the book. I really felt to take it home, to borrow it, and then take it back and give a donation. And the particular book, I have to say, was very inspiring for me. And a lot of miracles actually came from reading that book. So that was like a ripple that continued just from that. But I'm going to continue to tell you about this the rest of the day that happened after this little visit to the church. So I was very grateful for that, and I started to walk along towards a certain part of the beach. And as I was walking along, it was quite a windy day, but it was sunny, it was lovely. And then before me, I just looked up, and there was this flag, and it had a smiley face on it. And I've been along there many times before, and I don't ever recall seeing that. And I thought, wow, that's cool. That felt like a sign. A beautiful smiley face just blowing in the wind. I thought, thank you. I continued to walk, and there's some toilets nearby, and I thought I want to pop in there. But just outside the toilets, I saw this little piece of paper with a heart shape on the ground. And it was actually two little hearts joined, and I thought, oh, wow, there's another sign. And that filled my heart. I thought, thank you. I went into the toilet, and on the inside of the toilet door, I looked up, and there was a heart, another heart that someone had drawn. There was no writing, just a heart. I thought, wow, this is good. I'm loving this. So I was thinking, wow, I'm so open to receive. Thank you, universe. Thank you for showing me these signs, showing me I'm not alone, showing me that I am loved. So I continued on my walk, and after, 20 minutes or something, I felt I wanted to go actually onto the beach. I was on the path to start with, and along the side there was like a wooden fence with sort of little gaps in between. And I got to a certain point, and I thought, well, how am I going to get over that fence? And then I saw one area where there was like a little step up. I thought, that's it, that's what I'll do. But what was interesting is I got to that section of the fence. On either side of the posts, there was a big stone on at the top of each one, like a marker. I thought, oh, that's interesting. That felt like it wasn't an accident. It felt like someone had put them there for a reason. So anyway, I go up the step, and then I get over the fence and onto the beach. And just before me, there was a set of big, big rocks. And I walked towards them. And then there was this one big rock with sort of a flattish surface. And somebody had drawn these beautiful little images. And also what really touched me was some writing. It was all in chalk. And it said something like, I'm paraphrasing, I can't remember exactly, but if you're looking for a sign today, this is it. And I went, oh wow, that was just like, it just blew my mind. I thought, this is amazing. Of all the spots I end up going to, of all of this long walk, it was this point to this rock where these messages were. And it was obviously a child, but not, it couldn't have been a really young child, because there was writing, and it was good writing. Okay. And all these say sweet little images. And then there was something else written that had his name, something like Archie. I thought, oh wow, Archie, thank you. You know, in my mind I thought, thank you for this amazing message. And I was so touched. It really made my day. I thought, this is just, what a gift. And so I went and sat on the beach and I did a meditation, and it just felt beautiful. It really did. And off I go after that. And the rest of my day was just in harmony and peace. And I just felt so much gratitude. Oh yes, I forgot to mention, when I was on the beach meditating, just by the side where I was sitting, I kind of put my hands and I saw this heart-shaped pebble. And then a little bit further along, when I started to walk back, I found another heart, sort of a heart shape, but there's like the two interlocked. I could actually fit them in together. So that was my final kind of symbol that had come. And I just thought, wow, this is really incredible. So off I go, and my heart is just full. My heart is open, and I'm just thinking, wow. And I know it was because I prayed. I know it was because I was open to receive, and I trusted my intuition, my guidance to do that whole thing in that day. A, to take my breakfast to the beach. B, to walk the workplace I walked to. And you just really, this is how life will unfold for us all the time if we're willing to be open and receptive. And then, as I say, the miracles that actually continued after that, because of this book that I took home, that would take another long explanation, which at this point I don't feel to do, but just to say that the miracle continued. Okay, so going on maybe, I don't know how many weeks later, I can't remember, I'd walked there again, and then I'd gone away recently and I felt to go again, but this time I had such a strong hunch to actually, I wanted somehow to connect to Archie and to communicate with him. And I thought, you know, I have a feeling that because of these marker stones I was telling you about, and there's nowhere else along that beach I'd seen them, I thought, this is somewhere he comes, and he's put those stones on there for a reason, so he knows which bit to go to, where his magic rock is, you know, where he puts these messages on. So I thought, well, I wonder if he goes there regularly. And I thought, well, I think he probably does. So I want to get a little surprise for him in return. So I kind of sat with it and I thought, well, what could I do, you know? And I thought, I was given a little gift recently of a beautiful heart-shaped tin. It was really pretty. It's a picture of Vienna on it. And inside the 3 little chocolates. And I hadn't opened it, but I thought, that's for him. And I think because it was a tin, I thought, well, if I bury this in the pebbles near the stone, at least it'd be protected in the tin. And it just felt right. So I wrote a little message to say thank you to Archie so much for his lovely drawings and sharing his message, and that the sign, you know, had felt really lovely, or words to that effect. And so I wrote it, I folded it all up, and I fitted it in this little tin. And I was feeling really excited. I thought, oh wow, can you imagine being a kid and finding something like that? I mean, I sort of took myself back thinking, wow, I'd be like this, I'd be delighted. So I looked for some chalk before I left, because I thought I need to write a message on this stone, but I didn't have any. And I had some marker pens, and I thought, well, I'll try that. I don't know if that will work. So anyway, I walked back to go back to where this particular place is, and the marker pens aren't great, but I found a piece of white chalk, a natural stone on the beach. I thought, let's give that a go, and it worked. So I found a particular area right next to where this surface had been, where Archie had written his lovely messages. And I can't remember what I wrote, but something like the treasure is here, look here, or something like that. And I put arrows, 3 arrows, 2 arrows that way, and then one at the bottom pointing right down. And I undid the stones and the pebbles, moved them out of the way, and then I put the heart tin in, and I covered them up, and there was a couple of feathers nearby, so I stuck some feathers in. And I thought, well, I don't know if he comes back, if he will come back, if he'll look, if someone else will see it and take it. I didn't know. But I thought, well, I'm going to have faith, and I'm going to pray. And so I did that, and I walked off, and I went home. But I felt excited. I felt, wow, do you imagine this joining that we can have? And so I'd gone away for a week, and so it was like maybe 10 days, 2 weeks later, I went back. So that was today, I went back. And I thought, wow, I wonder what's going to happen, I'm going to find. So I went for my walk this morning, climb over the thing, go to the rock, and I could see that Archie had obviously done some more creative things on it, because he'd done things that was relative to this season, where it's now autumn, and he'd drawn some leaves, and he'd done a little message. And actually I took some photos of it, and the message on it today, he'd put happy autumn, the season changed, but the sun will always return, and some pictures of some leaves. And then his other message was, a little kindness can make someone's day. Heart, heart, heart. Thank you. And the flower. And then a picture of a seagull and a cake. And it says, cake. So he's already been back, and he'd done more messages, which was just wonderful. And then I looked to where I'd put my message, and there was some green chalk, and he'd written a message. And my message that I'd written had obviously been washed away, because I couldn't see any trace of it. But I thought, oh, wow, he's obviously seen it in time. And again, I can't remember the exact words, but it was something like, thank you so much for your treasure, and you've got a heart of gold. And I thought, oh my goodness. And I looked, and it was gone, the heart-shaped tin had gone. So he'd obviously received it. And I realised, oh, it is like a gold colour, the heart at the bottom part of this tin. And I thought, he's received it. And he sent a message back to me. And I just thought, oh, wow. I was just delighted. I cannot tell you. And my heart, again, was just so full, and I had a few tears. And I just thought, all I felt was love. My heart was just full of love. And I will probably never meet Archie. We'll never connect again, or might go back, and who knows, I don't know. But the point is really that that was not an accident. None of that was just a coincidence. I know it was meant, and it was guided. And it really, I feel quite emotional just sharing it, because it shows that when we really truly open our heart and our mind to miracles, to possibilities, to love, to connection, that the universe will come flooding in, and in ways we could never, ever imagine. And actually, we cannot orchestrate, and nor should we. And this is the big shift that's happened for me, is that I don't know, I do not perceive my best interests. And that's a quote from A Course in Miracles. Now, I used to believe that I, Anne-Marie, could manifest and create my world. But I've seen that that's from an ego perspective. Whereas when I leave my life to God, to Source, to the universe, it will unfold moment by moment for my best interests, for my highest good. But as I say, in the ways that I do not know. I do not know what is best for me. And I'm open and receptive to receive these nudges, these guidance, this intuition. And the more we pray, which is like the bridge, it's like a communication between us here, as I said, to this higher power. And we then have to, our bit is to be willing to communicate. It's being willing to express our heart, our emotions, our feelings over to this loving, benevolent universe, creator. And ask to be shown. Ask to let the steps come. And as I say, I don't know how that will look. But I know that I start to feel these things. And sometimes it just comes in out of nowhere, seemingly. And it can come in all shapes and sizes. It can come through a video on YouTube. It can come through the words of a song. It can come through a banner on a wall. It can come in meditation. It can come in all shapes and sizes. And so we really have to open to receiving. It's not a grasping, it's not a getting, it's a receptive place, a trusting place. And it's gentle and it's innocent and it's loving and it's kind. And this is how, when we really surrender our will, i.e. this seemingly Anne-Marie, to allowing the spirit of who I am to join with the spirit of love and grace, that they merge. And then this is how it all unfolds. And yeah, I just want to share that because I want to help people to trust in this higher power and to reassure people that they are loved and that this grace, this guidance is available to every single person. There's no exception. And if we're skeptical, that's okay. If we're thinking it's a load of rubbish, that's okay. But how's your life working out? This is what you've got to start to look at. And this is the only reason that I've got to this point, because my life, as Anne-Marie, trying to figure it out, work it out, control it, if I'm honest, it went okay to a degree. But there was a lot of stress involved, there was a lot of fear, a lot of judgments, a lot of blame, which is not harmonious. It's not a harmonious way to live. So little by little, through my awakening and my readiness to have a different way, that this started to unfold for me. And so I just want to encourage you that why not give it a go? And as I say, this is not about getting specifics. You've got to let that go. This is not what it's about. Because the source, our higher power, Holy Spirit, God, it has the path laid out for us. And that's what we've got to trust. And as I say, when we really open up to that, it's beautiful. Does that mean that things still don't come up? Well, yes, they do still come up. And yes, I am still triggered. But I understand nothing's going wrong. It helps me to focus even more, to look at my mind and think, okay, I'm clearly not in alignment with love. And to let these things come up to the surface, but then hand them over, pray for help, pray to be shown, what do I need to do here? And our bit is willingness and trust and patience. Patience is important. And also to have quiet time so you can be in a place to receive. And because if we're stressed all the time and we're not actually stopping still, it's not as likely for us to receive these nudges, because our mind's usually cluttered with being with doing things, right, and getting and achieving and being in time, in the future or past. So we do have to find some quiet time to come within. So that's a choice that we make. And that seems to be how this alignment happens. And it's not a bolt of lightning, you know. Although for some people it can be, you know, you can have these epiphanies. It can be just very gentle, as I mentioned. So I hope that inspires you. I hope it gives you some hope and thinking, well, why not give it a go? And open up to making prayer a part of your everyday life, not just in times of distress or worry. You know, it's every day. And give your day over to this loving presence. Give your will over. And I promise you that the things that will come will blow your mind. And you'll be like, wow, it's just, it's just such a different way to live. And it just feels so aligned and so alive and exciting. And it's almost like I felt that childlike innocence, you know, when I was going there to bury the little bit of treasure to give to Archie. And remembering those times when life was so simple, so innocent, so free. And, you know, we can have that always. It doesn't have to just be when we were kids, right? And so he gave me a wonderful gift of his sharing, his creativity, his love. And it felt so natural to want to share with him too. So I really pray that you have some wonderful miracles, some beautiful guidance to help you on your path, and to trust and get playful with it. And I'd love to hear if you do have any insights about this. Do get in touch. Yeah. Okay, so I wish you a beautiful day full of light and love and guidance. And yeah, just trust. Trust that you're loved. Trust that you can have these beautiful signs and symbols coming into your life as well. Okay, sending you lots of love. Bye for now.